Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a much anticipated and probably expected at this point episode of Shut Up and Enjoy, your podcast that focuses on actually being able to enjoy the content we see and not screaming into the void. We're only screaming into a crowd of voids, not just one particular. I am your host, one of your hosts, Chris, and I'm joined by my infallible co-host, What If Dante? What if Dante
Hello.
and Chris hosted a successful podcast and made millions? It would be great.
Oh,
That is a what if
sponsorship coming.
story. That'd be super. That is a what if story I would love to see come to fruition. Based on that, I'm sure you can tell that this episode is all about Marvel's What If Season 2, which premiered in December over the Christmas weeks. We will get into the episode descriptions in just a few. But screw it. It's just a few. So, Dante, take it away.
All right. So, like Chris mentioned, the series did premiere over the Christmas break. They did it interesting, and they released an episode per day over those, I guess, 10 days. So that was an interesting way to do it. You know, it's different from the weekly that Disney Plus usually does, or the
All at once.
usual streaming of just dropping everything at once. So this was an interesting way that they did it. So it gave you an opportunity to watch an episode, digest it a little bit, and then the next day you'll have something to look forward to.
Hmm.
But let's get right into season 2, episode 1. What if Nebula joined the Nova Corps? Nova Prime recruits Nebula to join the Nova Corps following Ronan the Accuser's successful coup against Thanos. 5 years later, the Xandar is sealed off from the universe to protect itself from Ronan's forces. Nebula discovers Yondu's body and receives orders from Nova Prime to investigate. She learns that Yondu located the codes to open the planetary shield and enlists Kree soldier Yonrog to infiltrate the Nova Corps mainframe to destroy them. Yonrog betrays her, revealing that he and Nova Prime plan to give up Xandar to Ronan. Nebula survives an execution attempt by Nova Prime's men, subsequently enlisting casino owner Howard the Duck.
I love
And
that so much.
isn't it great? And his subordinates, Groot, Meek, and Cord, to stop Nova Prime. During that fight, Nebula reveals she realized Nova Prime's defection when she assigned the mission to her and altered the code so that the shield would close around again as Ronan's ship, the Dark Aster, enters Xandar, destroying it and killing Ronan. Nova Prime tries to escape but falls to her death. The shield reopens as Nebula prepares to continue defending Xandar. Woo!
A lot happened in that episode.
Yeah, it did.
A lot happened in that
A lot
episode.
of good stuff.
It was a great episode. I always love when they throw Howard the Duck in because it's just one of those characters that nobody actually knows who or why, but
Right?
just always is.
Yes, and it's always a pleasure to see him. It's funny, and of course, you know my last name is Howard, so I've always liked Howard.
Dante the Duck.
That's right.
Definitely. Yeah. So it was interesting to see. I really didn't know where they were going to go with bringing Nebula into the Nova Corps or how they were going to bring her into um, Nova Corps. But I mean, shockingly, they did it well, or to no one's surprise, I should say. Uh,
Yeah.
it was really cool to see that kind of fruition growing up,
Mhm.
or watching Nebula grow up with that. And I kind of wondered if it was going to be Thanos was the threat, but the fact that they had Ronan actually successfully overthrow Thanos was another pleasant surprise. Um, yeah, what else was I going to say? Cool that they also brought Groot in as that as another like casino bodyguard lackey
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well. Uh,
Korg and Meek, they just had a little bit of everything in that
oh
episode.
yeah, they kind of hit everyone from all aspects of the MEU as we're coining it. Um, yeah, well, what did you think?
I really liked it. I liked that it had a Blade Runner type esque uh, feel to it,
Hmm.
especially when it started and you had the hover cars and things like that driving around. And it was good to see Nebula as sort of a detective as she was going through trying to figure out everything that was going on. So a really good episode. And they started the season off. They started the season off strong and started off well, which is what we always like to see when we get into these episodic television shows.
Absolutely. There wasn't any of the a lot of what I've seen recently with other TV shows is it takes a few episodes to get into it.
Right.
Why would you set up your TV series to make it so the viewer isn't immediately hooked? I want to be hooked from the first episode.
It boggles my mind how that happens so often. I watch a lot of these programs with my wife, and I don't think we've ever watched a series where she's enjoyed the first episode.
Mhm.
It's kind of funny, but just like you just said, many of the shows are set up that way. There's a lot of talking. There's a lot of exposition, not a lot of action. It's a
And I
setup. It's world building,
and I
and
get that. And I get that you need to introduce the characters to give them backstory, but at the same time, you can also set the question of what the trials and tribulations of the characters are going to be throughout this season, or
right. What are
throughout
the motivations?
the first part, second part. And that's where I think they lose it, is that they don't give you the question of like who the bad guy's going to be or what's their motivation. It's like it's literally, as you said, an episode of pretty dry exposition and character stuff. Who the characters might already have relationships, but I don't know what those are. Why do I care about any? Why is the camera dropping in on this particular character in the beginning versus actually giving me the whole background of why I need to start caring about them?
It's an interesting way that they set the series up, that they set shows up to do that. Um, but eventually we get into it, and that may also go into why some of these shows, some of the Disney Plus shows, as well as others, tend to drop 2 to 3 episodes at once and then go to the weekly format.
That's fine because I can still get those answers, but
Right.
I didn't necessarily need it with WandaVision
Hmm.
because we had the background of their relationship.
Right. And it was also the first series on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but so with this what if we already kind of have a bit of the premise of we know who Nebula was. We
Hmm.
don't need 10 minutes of introducing who Nebula was. We already have the scene. We already know Xandar. We already know Nova Prime. We already know Ronan and Thanos and all of that. And it takes that essentially Universe 616 and branches it
Hmm.
versus running in parallel with it almost,
Right.
where we're already invested in it. So, and that's one reason why I think that this episode and this season started off so strong because it took advantage of the prior knowledge we had.
Agree. 100%. And that was a good thing.
Oh yes, very good.
Excellent episode. It was good to get back into this world, this what if world,
Mhm.
coming off of last year when we had season one. So it was good to get back into it. I like the animation style of this series. It's beautiful. It's
It is.
everything about it is beautifully done. So hats off to the animators.
And definitely the writing was true to the characters
Yeah.
themselves and the voice acting, the mannerisms of them, how they, even though we didn't see much of Nova Prime in the live action, we still got like it was still very much this is the same character.
Hmm.
Minus, being a terrible person in this universe. Yeah, but I really did like the Blade Runner. You kind of hit that right on the head. It was very Blade Runner-esque and
Hmm.
kind of off on her own, going against the cops, going against the evil whatever, what was it? Tyrell Corp in Blade Runner, I think.
That sounds right.
I think it was like Tyrell Corp who made the animatron Cylon robot things.
You say
Uh,
Cylon?
I did.
Nice,
I did. I'm glad you
nice
picked that
pull.
one up. Yeah, and then how Nova, not Nova, Xandar had the like mainframe computer.
Hmm.
Nebula's just like, let me go ahead and USB port my brain in there.
Easy peasy, done deal.
Right. Um, so yeah, all in all, this episode, what do you where do you think this falls on the what if scale?
The what if scale, I'm gonna give it, I guess if we're going 0 to 10 on the what if scales, I'm gonna give this a strong 9.8. This was really good episode.
Yeah, definitely. I would say probably 9.5, 9.3
Hmm.
around
Hmm.
there. It sat really well with me. I watched it after a weird day at work. Well, that rating will probably go up if I when I go back and rewatch it, but
Right. Hmm.
it was very, very enjoyable, very solid. Um, so yeah. Well, that's it for this episode. See you guys. Uh, so episode 2.
All right. What if Peter Quill attacked Earth's mightiest heroes? In 1988, the Ravagers take Peter Quill to Ego, who urges him to help his expansion across the universe. 6 months later, after ravaging several worlds, Quill returns to Earth. In response, Peggy Carter and Howard Stark recruit Bill Foster, King T'Chaka of Wakanda, Bucky Barnes, Dr. Wendy Lawson, and a reluctant Hank Pym, who brings his daughter Hope Van Dyne along. After a scuffle on Coney Island, the team detains Quill with help from Thor. As the team discusses their next move, Van Dyne frees Quill, who travels to Missouri. As T'Chaka, Foster, and Thor aid Carter's forces in holding back Ego, Pym and Lawson encounter Quill visiting his mother's grave. A sympathetic Pym convinces him to stand against his father. Barnes, under the influence of his manipulator, prepares to assassinate Quill until Stark reminds him of his best friend, Steve Rogers. As Ego overwhelms the heroes and attempts to obtain his seed, Pym and Quill arrive in time to stop him, with the latter using the seed to destroy Ego's avatar. The team, minus Barnes, celebrates their victory before setting out to confront Ego himself. Once again, lots going on. It's so much more you can do in animation and live action when you just throw all this in. And the episodes weren't that long. They were the typical animation episodes, 30
20
to
to
40
30 minute
minutes.
episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but a lot goes into it, and a lot of characters went back to the 80s, so it was a lot of different characters, especially different from the ones that we typically see in the 616 universe with King T'Chaka, you know.
Yeah. Before like Sokovia Accord crap,
Right, right, all that good stuff.
and he got blown up. Rip.
Unfortunately, R.I.P.
But yeah, so if everyone recalls back to Guardians, it was the Ravagers. Yondu took pity on Peter and didn't actually turn him over to Ego. He raised him as his own. So that
Yes.
was kind of the temporal point that the TVA would have gotten cranky about. Um, but it was really cool to see him come back to Earth, but as a
Mm-hmm.
celestial kid. And it's still almost come full circle where when he realized Ego killed his mother, it was still he still above all else favored his mother over his father,
Loves his mother.
which
Yes.
was really cool to see. So like through all time and all universes, Peter is closer to his father or mother than
Mhm.
his father,
Yes. Yes.
which is a very human thing and a very superhero thing too. So it kind of brings that story back to the basics
Right.
as well.
Right.
Um, was cool to
Was his
see.
mother's name Martha?
It was
Why
Rachel.
did why
It
did you
was
say that name?
Rachel. Um, it was cool to see him kind of go toe to toe with the pre-Vengers.
Right.
Um, to pull from Avengers 1, we're not the pre-Vengers or the Revengers, we're the Avengers. Or that was Infinity War, he said that. Um, it was cool to see him kind of take down and have that be the level of cosmic introduction that they had. And I really was wondering how they were gonna almost overpower him.
Mhm.
And so the fact that Thor came in, it's like, oh,
That's how.
we're
That'll do
we're starting that storyline here.
it.
Um, yeah, that was really cool to see. Cheap shot of Howard Stark, I think bringing Steve in to kind of take down the Winter Soldier, but hey, it
You got to
worked.
do what you got to do. Interesting to see that Bucky, the Winter Soldier, was able to be a part of, quote unquote, a part of this team. You know, he was on loan from the Kremlin or whatever. So that was
Yeah, on loan, our greatest assassin in history.
yeah. Everybody give him a little skunk eye and side eye when you get off the plane. That's fucking
But I did like how Peggy picked up on. I was like, he looks exactly like
yeah,
Bucky. It's like that
yeah.
line from oh, what is it? Elseworlds, I think, on CW, that crossover. Maybe not
The
Elseworlds, maybe it was Infinity Crisis. Or
oh, okay.
Crisis,
Crisis on Infinite Earth.
yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Where when Supergirl came in and saw Brandon Routh's Adam, the line of like, he looks a lot like my cousin. It's kind of like a nod back to like when he actually played Superman.
yeah.
Ray Palmer, that was his name. Um, but I thought that was really cool. Just those like, huh. And Sharon's like, huh. Um, so I do like how they played into that a little bit and
yeah.
did that.
Another good episode. So really, really good to see again. Just
And then what was that army that they fought? It was like the army of, was it like an army of the dead or just rock golems?
I think it was ego seeds, maybe.
That could be taken so many ways.
Yeah. I, I walked right into that one.
You did. You did. I actually was asking the question, like, is that comic book lore, like, did Ego have an army of like golems or that they pulled from, or was that just his seed, as you so eloquently put it?
You got me on that one. Maybe one of our
Got
followers
him!
can let
Got
us
him!
we don't know all. We try. We don't know all. So definitely let us know down in the comments if
Yes.
you know what that army was and where that army came from.
So far the comments have been very tame.
Good. Maybe
Uh,
people are shutting up and enjoying.
yeah, because we write. It's
Damn right.
there's what was that line? It's like the Jim Jeffries line. It was like, and like 50% of you are like agreeing with me, and 20% of you are like, well, okay, oh, look at the pretty chandelier on the top. But then the last 3% of you are fucking seething. That's for, and the main reason is I'm making good points.
Damn right.
Yeah. But we
Oh,
have gotten some sidebar. We have gotten some feedback on the pod, and we do appreciate the feedback. Those of you who have given us feedback, both positive and negative, critiquing, and we're always down for high praises of the podcast episodes. So thank you, everyone,
yes.
for reaching out. It actually helps us as we make more episodes to figure out how we can frame them a bit better.
Right.
Um, dare
We
I
appreciate it.
say, it's a great Christmas gift.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Segue into episode 3.
Episode 3. What if Happy Hogan saved Christmas? On Christmas Eve, Happy Hogan is assigned to oversee security at Avengers Tower for an annual holiday party until Justin Hammer and his henchmen, Sergey and Rusty, break out of prison and assault the tower for Tony Stark's technology and a sample of Bruce Banner's blood. While attempting to save the blood sample, Hogan is accidentally injected with it, causing him to gradually transform into a Hulk-like monster while retaining his intelligence. With the Avengers busy and Stark's AI Jarvis inactive, Hogan contacts Darcy Lewis, who tries to find a new AI to reboot the tower systems. However, she is taken hostage by Hammer's group, who hijack the Iron Legion and Stark's Hulkbuster armor. Once his transformation is complete, Hogan destroys the Legion and defeats Hammer. While Hammer is taken back into custody, the Avengers return, praise Hogan for his efforts, and resume their Christmas party.
Oh, ain't that cute?
By far the funniest episode of the season.
It was
It had a
it was definitely one that was just a what the fuck, why not? Because we
that's right. Let's just do it because we can do it. It
can.
had the
But
Die Hard vibe to it, which was
yeah,
which was great.
oh yeah. I did like the Happy's whole transformation and the like. I liked how the episode opened with all of them kind of fighting, and it was almost that meme of like, you're probably wondering how I got into this position. Yep,
Yeah.
that's me. Did like how they brought Justin Hammer back. I would have
Yes.
liked to have seen him come back even now, like post Endgame, like almost try to then do like a hostile takeover of Stark Industries or something like something like that. I think it would have been funny if they did that, but then someone like Reed Richards comes in and buys Stark Tower, and you see the like intro of Fantastic Four is like one final kick in the nuts for Justin Hammer. I think that would have been hilarious.
I'm not sure, but isn't he coming back in one of the upcoming films? I think he's coming back for the next Captain America, either the next Captain America or the Armor Wars. He's coming back from one of those.
I
You
don't,
look perplexed.
I don't know. I hadn't heard that.
Am I breaking news to you?
I'm not I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, or I could also be wrong. Oh no, there it is.
Either
My
way,
head
I'm going to
canon.
shut up and enjoy.
My head canon. I'm making shit up as we go along.
Why not? Everyone else does it. We heard one rumor, so it's canon now.
Done. Boom. And when it doesn't happen, we're gonna be mad and we're gonna say, "Hey, why didn't you do what my head said?"
You know it. You know it. Also loved Darcy. Love me some Darcy, and
She is the best.
yeah, like she needs to be the MCU's guy in the chair.
Agreed. Yes. Yes. Just needs to pop up in every show and every movie.
Yeah.
Random.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you seen that meme where it's Jimmy Woo and Darcy need to do like an X-Files crime
Yes.
scene thing?
Oh, that would be awesome.
It, if they want to make a bajillion more dollars, they will do that.
Yes. Yes.
And it can just be a running TV series for like 100 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
can
then
have
move
them go
forward.
into space because that's actually very easy for them to do now, or to have them stay on Earth and be like detectives of the galaxy. I think
Mm, that's the name of the show.
there we go.
Done.
Guardians of the Detectives of the Galaxy.
Thank you.
Yep. Yep.
A
And
lot, lot of things went into that episode. The Hulkbuster armor, the Iron Legion,
the
lots of
different
lore.
Jarvisai.
Yeah.
You saw Friday, you saw like Edith 1.0,
Mm-hmm.
which was
Mm-hmm.
cool. There were a lot of little Iron Man and Earth 616 Easter eggs in there,
Yes. Yes.
which was
Really.
really cool. I like how they snuck all those in there. That was fan service, and I appreciated it.
We'll take it. We'll take it. When it's
Absolutely.
done right, when it's done right, it's unstoppable. When it's
And
done
this was done
wrong,
right.
though, ooh.
I did also like how Happy was like, "You can see me now, can't you?" It was like a few times throughout. It was kind of like a recurring joke within it.
Yeah.
So that was just fun. I don't know,
I always like, I like just thinking of the whole series and the whole show, how they use the same voice they use the same actors to do the voice that they do in live action. So it really immerses you into the show and puts you into that world. And you can really see it. You can really visualize everything that's going on in there. And then
yeah,
again, it's beautiful animation. So
it's just
it's not
beautiful to look
it's
at.
not
Everything. Um, yeah, that was definitely the wholesome episode of this season. There was a lot of stuff that happened. Oh, we forgot to. No, we didn't. We're not there yet. Never mind. But
okay.
yeah, never mind. We're good. As we were. Um, so next episode, what if Iron Man crashed into the Grand Master?
Yes, episode 4. In 2012, Tony Stark saves New York from the Chitauri by redirecting a nuclear missile towards their mothership. However, the wormhole he used closes before he can return to Earth, causing him to crash land on Sakaar, where he is forced to stay by its ruler, the Grandmaster. Stark interferes in a death race to save one of the other races, Korg, and encounters Gamora, who was sent by Thanos to kill Stark for stopping the Chitauri before the Grandmaster's chief enforcer, Topaz, imprisoned them. Upon learning Gamora's purpose and vowing to stop the Grandmaster, Stark escapes, recruits Korg and Valkyrie, who builds a new Iron Man suit, and challenges the Grandmaster to a race for the title of Sakaar's ruler. Though the Grandmaster tries to cheat, Stark ultimately wins while Valkyrie defeats Topaz and incapacitates the Grandmaster. As Valkyrie is crowned King of Sakaar, Stark convinces Gamora to forge her own path before joining her and leaving to confront and kill Thanos. Woo!
There was one song that kept playing in my head over and over through this
Uh-huh.
one as Stark was trying to do that, like, you can do it, Gamora. It was just, you can go your own way, forge your own path. Um, I I'll say it. I did not rate Thor Ragnarok or Thor. Yeah, this was Ragnarok. This one was Ragnarok, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I did not rate that movie high. I
Okay.
didn't really like it very much.
Okay.
Um, I my whole basis for not liking it, and I've said this before, I think if it was released at a different point in the MCU, I would have liked it more. My whole thing for not liking it was the reason Thor left Earth after Ultron was to go find the Infinity Stones because he has that line of that's 3 of the 6 Infinity Stones in recent years that have cropped up. Something's happening. I need to know what.
Mhm.
So that's why he went back out into space
Right.
to find them and figure out what was going on because he had the vision. He had the vision in the pool of Ragnarok. With when he went and talked to Selvig, Selvig had the line of like, "Oh, it's that bad if you're here," something like that. And I feel like Thor Ragnarok didn't deliver on that. It just seemed very random, and it made me think and I will admit now in hindsight, I'm probably calling the kettle black a little bit and turning into one of those fans who had this whole theory in his head and nothing played out, so I'm grumpy at it. I will see, I am cognizant, people. I admit when I'm wrong.
That's also okay because that movie was 7 years ago
Yeah.
at this point. Yeah.
And so I would have thought that the vision of Ragnarok, which was also joined by his vision of the Infinity Stones, where the Infinity Stones would have played a larger part in Asgard's Ragnarok, and they would have been tied in more like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there was nothing mentioned about the Infinity Stones or his reason for leaving Earth in Thor Ragnarok. There was nothing, and it tied in no way back to the bigger plot of the MCU. It was Thor 3. It wasn't pushing more into the MCU. The
Mm-hmm.
only thing we got was at the end, you saw Thanos' ship approaching the Asgardian ship that everyone was on. That was it.
Okay. So here's my thoughts on it.
Go
The
for it.
reason why we didn't see that is because he got sidetracked. So
But
now he
even a
started off the film.
mention of it of like why is like some one seemingly throwaway line of it would have it just seemed like he had ADHD and went on a 90-degree turn, not even trying to like.
Because yeah, because his dad died and his crazy ass sister came out. So everything else got pushed to the side because this is not only am I dealing with the death of my father, I'm dealing with this crazy bitch who I had no idea even existed. She's trying to murder me. She's raising up a dead army. What the fuck is going on? Now Ragnarok actually comes and my planet is destroyed. I got to get my people somewhere. So all of that was going on. So it went from being okay, I got to figure out what's going on with those Infinity Stones to wait, hold on. Now I am the de facto king of Asgard. Dad's gone, right? I'm the de facto king of Asgard. I gotta make sure my people are okay, and then go from there.
I agree with that, but that still doesn't bring in any part of why we needed the Grandmaster in that movie.
Oh,
They
that's what you're going with.
well think about it. They could have built Ragnarok about that, dealing with him becoming the de facto king, Hela coming in with Odin dying, and and dealing with all of that, and it could have been more centered around Asgard, as well as maybe dealing like a war on two fronts with someone trying to take an Infinity Stone in Odin's vault or something. I don't know.
You see my
Like
big giant smile because,
I would
because
have.
you're doing the thing.
I know I'm doing the thing.
Chris is
I
doing
said
the
I know I'm
thing.
doing the thing, everyone. I said I know I'm doing it. I said I know, I know, I know, I know. Or like would have loved to have seen maybe that happen on Xandar and we see the destruction of Xandar or something. That would have been cool to
That
see.
happened in between, or I guess that happened during the movie.
Yeah,
The destruction of Xandar happened during the movie,
I
and we
think
didn't
that
we didn't get any closure on that. Although there was some. there was some concept art for it
Yeah.
or something. So
Like I think if maybe movie took place more on Xandar and Hela was coming and then Thanos comes down to glass the place to get the other Infinity Stone. I I think Thor Ragnarok would have been better. But going back to my original point with this episode of What If Iron Man crashed into the Grand Master,
right.
I thought that was a really fun tie-in, and I think that was really cool. And if Iron Man ended up needing to do that, and then he got his uh super not nth metal, that's Hawkgirl's stabby mace thing, Uru metal. If he got his Uru metal suit from being in there at the end of Avengers, if he actually ended up in space and he somehow found his way to Nidavellir and made his Uru suit metal and then came back to Earth, that would have been fucking awesome.
See, look at
See,
that.
I just solved it. I just fixed Thor Ragnarok and Iron Man.
There it is, all done. Now,
Boom.
I wonder if so we do know that one of the episodes for season 2 was supposed to be in season 1, but they held it back. And you wonder if this is the episode because if I'm not mistaken, the suit that he has in this episode is actually the suit that he ended up with in the last episode of season 1. When he showed up in the last episode of season 1, it was that same suit. And this shows us where he got that suit. So I'm thinking this is the episode that should have been or was originally scheduled to be in season 1.
I could see that.
Yeah.
But there's my self-aware rant for the evening.
All right. We love the rants.
We do. We do.
Want to roll right into episode 5?
Sure.
All right. What if Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper? Captain Peggy Carter and Natasha Romanoff find Steve Rogers inside the Hydra Stomper armor aboard the Lemurian Star, but he attacks them. A briefing with Nick Fury leads Romanoff to deduce that Rogers, who went missing in 1953, was captured and brainwashed by the Red Room. Carter and Romanoff help Brock Rumlow protect Bucky Barnes from Rogers before incapacitating him and traveling to a secret hideout in Scotland, where they learn the suit is keeping Rogers alive. Though each activation reduces his chances of survival, Rogers offers to help Carter dismantle the Red Room in hopes of finding a cure before escorting her and Romanoff to a former KGB site. However, the group is ambushed by drones and Black Widow assassins, controlled by the Red Room's leader, Melina Vostokov, who reactivates Rogers' brainwashing. While Romanoff holds off Vostokov forces, Carter reaches out to Rogers, who sacrifices himself to destroy the Red Room. Amidst this, Romanoff uses her grappling hook to tie Vostokov to Rogers' suit, killing her in the resulting explosion. As Carter tries to find Rogers, a portal suddenly takes her to a Renaissance-themed universe where she encounters its variants of Fury and Wanda Maximoff. A lot went down in that episode. A lot of shit went down in that episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start with that because it was just wild from the beginning.
Yeah.
That's all you got? Yeah.
So we kind of started this episode with Peggy and Nat having their best friend quippiness, but also a lot's mentioned with Peggy getting tired of fighting and wanting to stop the fight.
Right.
Which I think Marvel has done really well here is to start showing the emotional exhaustion of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
You see it in Civil War between Cap and Iron Man. You see it as the characters age. It takes a physical toll on them. It takes an emotional toll. That's why Tony wanted to create Ultron. Isn't the goal to end the fight? Isn't the goal to come home? Um, and they did a very good job with Captain Carter trying to do this, where she's been fighting since World War II. She's tired. She's exhausted. But she also has the personality where when she sees someone in distress, she can't say no.
Right. Gotta jump in. Both
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah. She could do this all day. Um, and so when she sees Steve, there is that kind of back and forth of Steve and her with the let me go, let me rest type of thing. Like I have to do this when Steve's flying off to go nuke the Red Room.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's very well done, and especially because they didn't have much screen time together. I
Right.
think the few lines they had together were written very carefully. Um, and I just got to give props to that. That's
Yeah.
where I'm going with this. I got to give props to them. They illustrated their point very well without much rambling.
Right. Right. Very, very good. So it was good to see. Again, they had a lot of characters in there. So they had Rumlow in there. They had the Melina in there. They had a bunch of widows,
Mhm.
which is I would be all in for a series on just the widows, red blooded man. So we I would definitely be all in for that. A lot again, a lot of characters. Nick Fury was in there. A little bit of everything. So very, very good episode.
I will say at the end when Peggy was pulled through time and the universes, I didn't know exactly what was on the other side. Of like, oh, we're just portal popping right now.
Random portals popping up. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Okay, guys. And then to see that it was Scarlet Witch, I was geeking. I'm glad to see Scarlet Witch back. I'm not ready to let her go. She was a very good character, I think.
Yeah, I got a feeling that the MCU isn't MEU isn't done with her by a long shot. No matter how many rocks and shit we
How many
see fall.
Mount Wondagores fall on her head?
No,
Um,
right, we're not done.
we ain't done. Not a chance in hell. Yeah, this was a very good character building episode. And it had its mission of what it wanted to do.
Hmm.
And it did it. So when you go back and read mission log December 16, 1991, um, it'll be a successful mission.
Oh man.
Uh,
All right. Let's go into episode 6.
Big episode because
Yes.
I have so many questions
All
about
right,
this.
good.
I
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
What if Kahori reshaped the world? After Surtur destroys Asgard during Ragnarok, the Tesseract crash lands in a lake in the Haudenosaunee Confederacy in pre-colonial America, giving it magical properties. After numerous traps people disappear while interacting with it, it became known as the Forbidden Lake. In the late 15th century, young Mohawk siblings, Kahori and Wati, are hunted by Spanish conquistadors, who ransack their village in search of the Fountain of Youth. While hiding in a cave, Wata is captured and Kahori is shot, causing her to fall into the Forbidden Lake, which teleports her to another dimension, where she is nursed back to health by fellow Mohawk people. A villager named Atarax explains that the missing tribes people were teleported to the Sky World, where they gained powers and immortality, but were unable to return home. As Kahori familiarizes herself with the newfound powers, the conquistadors enter the lake, believing it to be the fountain, and invade the sky world. Kahori stops them and forces the portal from the sky to the ground and returns home. She and the villagers defeat the conquistadors, rescue her people, and later force Queen Isabella to make peace. Soon after, Doctor Strange Supreme emerges from a separate portal and approaches Kahori. Woo!
Okay, first question. Did they create the character of Kahori for this?
Yes, this is a brand new character, never seen before. There's no comic or story to circle back to. This is all brand new for the MC/MEU for What If, and perhaps going forward in live action. We don't know yet.
Second question.
Okay.
This is not the same tribe from which Echo draws descendancy, is it?
It is not. No.
She's Choctaw, right?
Right. She's Choctaw, which we'll get into on a separate podcast.
Because I didn't do my homework.
But fun fact, the voice of Kahori plays a character in Echo.
Oh, fun.
Mm.
And that first scene of Echo with the whole like mud lake thing, I was like,
Yes, sir.
Okay. Really liked this new take. I really like Native American like mythology and religions. I always enjoyed studying them and in school and everything.
Right.
Really like the take on how they worked with the power of the Tesseract. How it was kind of bleeding into their water to give them powers,
Mm-hmm.
but also was still very much the space stone and transported them. Badass final fight scene.
Oh,
Badass. Holy shit. Probably one of my favorite so far. You just see everyone coming out of the trees. They're firing cannonballs and shit. She's about to get offed and whew.
That's right. Backup. I got backup.
I got backup, bitch. Yeah, exactly. Right. You won't. Yeah, that was really interesting to see. The I in was it in Thor or an early Captain or in the first Captain America? Um, we saw the Tesseract on Earth, right? And there's some like church or something in Norway.
I believe, yes. I think that's where
Red
Odin put
Skull.
it.
Yeah.
And then that's where Red Skull got it.
Interesting that, and it may have, and we just didn't see it, how it was passed down through legend, but it didn't necessarily like impact the development of that region or anything. Having an Infinity Stone there. Yeah, this was probably one of my favorite episodes of this season, if not my favorite episode.
I agree. It was really good. I like that they also it was dubbed in that other language.
Yes.
So we were forced to have to read the subtitles for the entire thing.
They
But
didn't
it didn't
quite
take
wash it.
right, right, which was great. It wasn't in English with a weird accent, which so many movies do. It's supposed to be they're in Germany talking English with a German weird ass accent. Is always ridiculous. Just fucking go with the language. We can read it, and then everything will be fine.
It
And
would
they
have
did a great job with this one.
It would have been really ironic if they dubbed it, given the whole like colonization
Right.
thing. I think it would have been funny if they put it in Spanish because it was the conquistadors. Um, but no, I agree. I'm really glad that they kept it in the traditional language, and then they had Spanish on the other side from the conquistadors and all of that stuff. But it was interesting when they went to see the Queen, it was in English, right?
I believe it was. I can't remember.
I think it was in English, and I remember thinking like, how much time passed? How did they learn it so well? And if it was the conquistadors, shouldn't it be Spanish? Because shouldn't they be in Spain?
They were. It was definitely Queen Isabella of Spain. So they were definitely in Spain.
Just some questions. I'm only asking questions here. I'm just asking questions.
It's very valid. It's valid questions. It's not anything that's out of the realm. We're not trying to recreate the wheel here.
Or reshape the world.
If you do 40 minutes and using subtitles in a different language, then there's no reason to go into
Yeah.
there's no reason to go into English for the last 2 minutes of this
Yeah.
show.
Um, yeah, I was not expecting to see Strange Supreme show up.
Right, right.
That was a surprise. Because he was trapped fighting Killmonger Ultron, right?
No, um that was the robot.
Vision.
No. Oh, was it?
Because they trapped him in like a microcosm universe.
Yeah. No, it was
And the Watcher told him someone needs to watch over them to make sure that they don't break free.
yeah, it wasn't Vision, it was
It was Ultron
Ultron. There you go.
versus Killmonger, right?
Yeah. Yep. All right. Episode 7. What if Hela found the 10 rings? Growing weary of Hela's bloodlust in the nine realms, Odin banishes her to Earth and strips her powers by destroying, oh Lord, Mjolnir and placing an enchantment on her crown. Hela lands in medieval China and is confronted by the armies of Wenwu. She attempts to retrieve the crown but fails. Wenwu keeps Hela alive and tries to recruit her to his army, but she escapes after failing to steal his 10 rings. She is guided by a Hunding to the realm of Tao Lo, where she convinces their leader, Jai, to let her join their cause. Jai teaches Hela martial arts after she recognizes her true desire for freedom from control. After Heimdall reports his failure to locate Hela, Odin visits Earth to battle Wenwu in retaliation. Hela joins Wenwu in fighting against Odin, ultimately winning and regaining her worthiness to wield her crown. Odin recognizes Hela's growth and submits Asgard's throne to her. Hela unites the armies of Asgard and Wenwu's 10 Rings organization and embarks on a journey to ensure freedom across the nine realms and beyond, coming to the rescue of Gamora's people as Thanos attacks. There you go.
Not gonna lie, once you said freedom, my brain went to freedom, peace, stability, and justice to my new empire.
Damn, that's where it went.
Every time. It never won't not go there. This was really cool. I was pleasantly surprised at how they 180'd Hela. Um, because I mean Kate Blanchett did an amazing job. Holy shit.
Yep.
She was my favorite part of Ragnarok.
See, there you go. You had a part. You had a favorite part.
I had a favorite part, yes. I really liked how it was a shot-for-shot scene of Thor being banished,
Mm-hmm.
as Hela being banished, and it was even with Mjolnir too,
Yep.
Mjolnir, as Darcy calls it. Um, and also it was before Wenwu kind of went crazy,
Right.
which was cool. So you could actually see it was almost like a two-part what if. What if Wenwu didn't go batshit, and what if Hela found the Ten Rings? Type of thing.
Mhm.
Um, it's really seeming like the entirety of the MCU is just daddy issues.
1,000%.
Tony,
Everybody's got daddy issues.
Tony, Thor, Gamora, technically Vision,
Hmm.
Ultron,
Everyone.
uh, Pietro and Wanda. It's just daddy issues. Um, so episode season 3, episode 1. What if there were no daddy issues in the MCU? Everyone's just sitting on a couch watching a movie.
Yep. Having a great time, just popping popcorn and drinking soda pop, just having a
Yeah.
great time.
Oh yeah. Um, yeah, very, very good episode. Good action in this episode too.
Yes,
But
yes.
they also brought back Morris,
Yeah.
faceless flying pig rat thing. I was like, oh, I saw that. I saw that and I lost my collective shit.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh,
That was good. Yeah. Notes from Dante.
another great episode. It was good to see, like you said, the exact recreation of the banishment going, and just to see that, you know, the difference in having Thor's banishment and he landed here in the United States in rural Missouri or wherever the hell he landed,
New
Oklahoma,
Mexico.
Mexico.
New
Um,
Mexico, because Colson said that I have a thing I got to go take care of in New Mexico.
yeah, that's right. At the end of, yep. Um, and just to see that she landed in China and just the difference that it made. As far as had Hella landed in New Mexico, what the hell would she have done there? But clearly he landed in China and then being found by Wen Wu, and then he got some cool toys over there. I want those toys.
Hmm.
I thought it was hilarious when she went to do her crown thing
Yeah,
and nothing happened.
and that's like, oh, something usually happens.
It's like the oh shit moment.
Yep,
Um, but a really, really good episode. So
one
again, the season they're just knocking it out of the park with each and every one,
hundred
which
percent.
which is great to see. Um, and I don't think Marvel and Disney, Kevin Feige, I don't think they get enough credit for the great things they do. Get a lot of blame.
Lot, and there are a lot of things to constructively criticize.
Agreed, agreed. But sometimes you just got to give credit where credit is due. And God damn it, this
And
series.
speaking of that, I did really like the scene in this episode where Hela's like, we have to take Joe Bob from Odin, whatever the hell his staff sword laser pointy thing is called.
Mhm.
Um, we have to take him from Odin, and Wenwu was like, "Who's that?" And that's a whole like the Norse mythology versus the Eastern mythology of like naming your weapons is not something they did. And it was like it's the staff. It's like oh okay sure.
Hey, you say so.
So it's even those little tiny intricacies and attention to detail, I think, are, as you said, Got to give credit where credit is due. And
Yes.
it's definitely due here in this season, all throughout.
Yes. Agreed.
Our penultimate episode
All
now.
right. Episode 8. What if the Avengers assembled in 1602? After arriving in an Elizabethan era themed universe, Captain Carter agrees to help Wanda Maryland and Sir Nicholas Fury stop an impending incursion. She saves Prince Loki from being pulled into a tear, but fails to save Queen Hela and is hunted by Sir Harold the Happy Hogan under King Thor's orders. Carter learns the incursion is occurring due to the presence of the Forerunner, another time displaced individual, and works with Tony Stark to build a device that can identify the Forerunner using the time stone in Thor's scepter. Tony suggests she work with outlaws Steve Rogers, Bucky Barnes, and Scott Lang to help steal it. Carter finds the group, but they are ambushed by Hogan. Carter gives herself up before freeing herself and a masked Bruce Banner. They meet with Stark and join Rogers' group in infiltrating Thor's court. With Wanda's help, the group retrieves the time stone for Stark's device, which identifies Roger as the Forerunner, who has inadvertently created the temporal anomaly while battling Thanos. Carter bids farewell to Rogers and returns him to his universe, preventing the incursion, before she is met by Strange Supreme. That's right.
Rogers can't ever not be the man at a time.
Always in the middle of shit.
And they shot for shot at him too, coming back from Wakanda, the Wakanda fight, right?
Bucky or Steve?
Steve.
I can't
Didn't
recall.
didn't they when he was explaining that he knew he was the man at a time, didn't didn't they flash to the fight in Infinity War
Oh, yes. Yes.
in Wakanda?
Yeah.
I liked that.
I
Your God.
like everything about this.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Liked old Hulk. Kind of
Yes.
raggedy man. Of course, Thor would be king. Kind of saw that coming.
Yeah.
Um, Tony's still the inventor, which, sure. Um, I I don't have much to say about this episode. It was good. I liked it. It it
And
was setting up for the final.
that's exactly what I was going to get to. I think it was just a stop, not a stop. Yes, pretty much a stopgap between what we saw previously with Captain Carter and what we're gonna see coming forward here. This was kind of like that middle ground. Like you said, the penultimate episode is always typically, or typically always. It's
Yeah,
typically
always.
the the episode that sets up the finale. Um, we do know in a lot of shows that the penultimate, a lot of series, I should say, the penultimate episode is the one that really is the where the most action is, where the hard hitting, the fighting. We've seen that in Game of Thrones. We've seen that in a few other series where that next to last episode is the one that really gets everyone talking.
Yeah.
I wouldn't quite say that this one did that, but again, it was a decent episode. It was that perfect in between. It kind of took us to something that we haven't seen before,
Yeah.
something that was a lot different. How do we get from what we know in 2025? I think is where the MCU is right now. How do we get 2025? How do we juxtapose that against 1602? And we got to see a little bit of some different things in there. But again, it was that waypoint between where we are and where we're going to go next.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So with that, we will go into that final episode, episode 9. What if Strange Supreme intervened? Strange Supreme takes Captain Carter to a sanctum infinitum, where he reveals that he has been capturing universe killers to atone for his sins, and asks for her help in capturing an escaped variant who fled to a universe where Hydra used the Tesseract to destroy the world. Carter agrees and encounters Kahori, who reveals that Strange has been capturing variants to feed to the Forge, a contraption he built to resurrect his lost universe. As Strange attempts to kill Kahori, Carter frees his captives, allowing her and Kahori to escape. Amidst the chaos, the pair encounter Black Panther Killmonger, who Kahori separates from his armor, allowing Carter to use it. While the pair battle Strange at the Forge, the variants lend their weapons to Carter while Kahori sends them home. Strange is taken over by his demonic self, though Carter separates them. As the Forge collapses, Strange sacrifices himself and his counterpart to it. The Watcher returns Kahori home and brings Carter to Strange's restored universe, revealing he succeeded in resurrecting Christine Palmer, though he can never be reborn into it. Carter asks the Watcher to show her the multiverse for taking her home. Woo! One thing mentioned in there, which I thought was probably the funniest thing in not only this episode, but the funniest thing we've seen in quite some time. When Kahori separated Killmonger from his armor, it was just like, yeah, beat it.
It's
You don't
almost
need
like
that anymore.
it's almost like the same thing that we saw in last season when Ultron turns around and Thanos comes through the portal. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
like, uh,
you're gone.
hey. No, I did think of that too, and I was like, oh, she a bad bitch.
Oh yeah, she power. She got the power.
Yeah. And I want that on in live action. Give me Kahori. I
I
want
would, I would go for that. Yes,
even a
yes,
Kahori series.
yes, yes. Now, where would it be? Because I guess technically that is not Earth 616, so it's definitely an alternate universe. It's something different. It's something that's out there. Um, so we would have to see where we go, and then I guess, would we see it? Will we see it in this time, or will we see it in her time? Where exactly will we see it? Is she immortal because she has those powers? Be interesting to see that.
There's a lot to explore with her character, I think.
It is. It is. And
Uh,
I think starting it here and having it here, great idea.
yeah. This is a great start to her character, bringing this episode full circle of not having great starts to characters. This was a great introduction to Kahori.
Yep.
We know the Tesseract. We know how she got her powers. We know her motivation. Like I want more. I want to see more. I'm excited to see the next stage of Kahori.
Yes. Yes.
Even more so than Captain Carter.
Captain Carter, interesting that so we went from Captain Carter being a part of What If, then she rolled right into Multiverse of Madness,
I was
where
going to say, is this that same Captain Carter?
I I think that was a question that was posed previously after we had season one and then we had Multiverse of Madness, and I think the tone was that it was that exact same Captain Carter. Haley Atwell in live action. This guy is always here for it. So definitely,
He
yes,
knocked that role out of the freaking park
yes,
from
yes,
from the first Avenger.
yes. So I would definitely like to see her back as Captain Carter, as Peggy, as any.
Yeah.
Of course, we know that the Peggy Carter that we know, she gone, she old
She
and she
gone.
gone.
She gone. Bye.
So it would definitely have to be something from a different time. But we know from Multiverse of Madness, we know that she was out there in that universe, so she could possibly be out there in other universes as well. Um, but definitely would like to see that for sure.
I did really like in the final fight scene with this one against Strange. They were all using all the different weapons. Like it was that fight scene, I think, was what Secret Invasion final fight scene could have been. Because with Secret Invasion, you had it's not Kira, that's her character from Solo. What
What was her name? Is that what you're trying?
Daenerys's character in Secret Invasion.
I ain't even gonna lie and act like I know what it was.
Forgettable is what it
Yeah,
was.
unfortunately.
Yeah. Um, her versus Gravik. Like that
Yeah.
with all of the different like medleys of the powers from Hulk to Korg to Captain Marvel. It's like that was a cool concept, but I think this final fight scene with all the weapons and the Infinity Stone, like this was done much better. And I don't know if it's just because this was animation, so they could have done it better, but this fight scene is what I think that fight scene should have been.
Right, right. That was unfortunately that just turned into a big giant mess. But let's
See,
not let's not
we do
re
hate stuff here, people who don't like
let,
our podcast.
let's not rehash that nonsense because
Yeah, we don't do that here.
ah, oh man. But so the way that it ended with the Watcher and showing Peggy the newly created universe, um, and then going off into the multiverse. Again, I think that is probably what's going to lead us to see her again. Now that they've gone off, she's gone off with the Watcher to see the multiverse. Um, I could see her, hey, can you just drop me off here for a sec, and
Yeah.
then she'll be there. So
I do I am excited to see that character evolution because you have that cognition of the big picture. How does she not become desensitized to like, oh, like your family got killed? Well, you're one family in one universe in the grand scheme of holy shit, and this doesn't actually matter. Like
right.
she is now a multiversal soldier.
Hmm.
And it'll be really curious and cool, I think, to see how that all plays in with her character development and essentially what's the expression, like heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
so again, interested to see where that goes. But all in all, what do you think of this series as a whole? This season two of What If?
I think it there were more episodes that weren't as joined to the greater plot like season one. I think season one's episodes were building, more of them were building towards that final battle than
Mm-hmm.
this one. Like we never saw Nebula again, really. Kind of
I think
saw
she, I think she was in that last episode as one of the captured.
as one of the captors, but like she wasn't then one of the heroes who were starting to fight or something. Like versus in season one, it was each episode introducing the variant, but then building it still towards, it was more cohesive,
Mm-hmm.
I think. But I liked the individual episodes of this more. Um, I really liked Blade Runner-esque Nova Corps.
So good. So good.
Loved Kahori's whole plot. Um, I'm always a fan of Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Um, the Hela one was done very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked these individual plots more. Final fight scene, I think, was right on par with season one's. They were both just blown out of the park. Very well done. Put them neck and neck. But I think season one had more overall cohesiveness, but season two had better individual episodes. So I'd say this whole thing was 8.75 out of 10. Pushing
For the
that.
entire season.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm gonna go with somewhere around 9.0 to 9.2, somewhere around in there. Um, Again, like we talked about, I think I am a geek for animation and cartoons and comics
Yeah.
and just beautiful beautiful styles. And I think that this series has that. It has a beautiful style that just, again, it just engrosses you. It gets you into it. And again, just to have the voice actors come back, so that puts you more into it. Um, Everything about this, I think, is really great. And so we're looking forward to season three, which has already been announced that they're going to do it. And they actually showed us a sneak peek of one of the episodes for season three. So the good thing about this is, like you said, that season one was more cohesive than season two.
Mhm.
But as we roll into season three, perhaps that cohesion will come full circle. But also, one of the good things about this series is that you don't really have to have that full.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have had to watch season one to enjoy this season two.
Mhm.
They give you the
It's
little
very almost like American Horror Story anthology-esque.
yes, yes, yes. So you can pick out a random episode. Episode 5, you can pick out a random episode. And that was what if Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper, and you wouldn't necessarily have to have the full information from what happened before.
Hmm.
They do give you a little bit at the beginning to just give you a refresher or a catch up,
Yeah.
so that you do see some things. But you wouldn't have to say, "Oh well, shit, I gotta go watch the whole entire other 9 episodes before I get to episode 1."
Yeah.
You won't be disappointed if you watch those other 9 episodes.
You
So
will only be
definitely,
you will be that much more satisfied.
that's right.
But you won't be, I don't think you'll be lost. You might have one or two contextual questions, but it's not dependent by any means.
Right, right, right. And that is a good thing. So
Yes.
there you have it. That is What If season 2.
In the bag. Well, thank you everyone for watching what I think might be our longest episode yet.
You guys love it.
Oh, we know you love it. Don't pretend like you don't. Thank you very much for joining us as we went through season 2 of Marvel's What If. All 9 episodes, quick review on each one. Join us again, hopefully in the next week or so, once not we, I get around to watching the rest of Echo. We'll do a whole series breakdown of Echo and look ahead to the future. So, yes, thank you very much once again, and we will see you at the next virtual con.
Good night, everyone.